Okay, one of the things I want to talk about here is single hand Skagit casting, and basically everything is the same as what we teach for double-handed Skagit casting. The biggest difference, and where a lot of people are going to get the most confusion and switching from, let's say, two-handed casting to single-handed, is this thing that we call, in the two-handed casting and every instruction that we do on the Skagit casting with two hands, we talk about being in the box right here, keeping everything in the box. Once you start this process right here, see how I keep everything right there? That's called staying in the box. And for two hands, that box is literally right in front of us because we're using both hands. So we don't want to be over here. We don't want to be over here trying to favor one arm or the other. It'd just be awkward that way. So the best box right here in the center for two hands. Okay? Now, for single-handed, it would be really awkward, especially if you're wearing a chest pack like I am here, to try and maintain a box out in front of you. What you're going to do is maintain the box on whatever side you are strong side casting. In other words, I'm right-handed, I'm going to keep my box over here. But in the case of a single-handed rod, the box is your elbow. That's the one that you want to concentrate on sticking in one place and not moving around. So I'll kind of demonstrate that here. I'm over here, and watch, I'm going to do a C-spade here, and I'm going to keep everything. See how that elbow, what I mean by this is don't do this. Don't get that elbow flailing around. The box for single-handed casting is your elbow. That's your pivot point. Once again, let's just go real quick. On two hands, the box refers, I should have said that, refers to the pivot point. With two hands, here's my pivot point right here. It's in between these two hands. I'm going to keep it right in front, centered on the front of my body. Watch this. Here we go. Pivot point stays there. Pivot point through the whole process from the beginning of the sweep to the end of the casting stroke. So now, single-handed, our pivot point is this elbow right here. So once we start, we can move it for doing a pickup wherever we want. But once we start the sweep, you got to lock it wherever it's at. And most of the time, that's going to be right about here, a little over on your right side. Like I said, you can do whatever you want when you're doing the sweep, but once doing the pickup, but once you get into the sweep, you got to lock that elbow and make an established pivot point right here. Well, it's about the box for one-handed casting. In other words, the other name for the box is your pivot point. It's your elbow. Okay, there we go, locked in. Let's do a poke. Because a lot of times with the poke, since the poke is such a slow lift, a lot of times you have to move your elbow out. But once now that I've dropped, okay. So if I have to lift to get the poke, I'm going to come up, get here, but once I drop, now lock from this point on. Okay. Let's do the downstream poke. Same thing. I have to lift high. I'm going to lock the elbow. Okay. Lock my pivot point. Oops, that was funky looking, huh?